chapter number first, that is matter in our surroundings. So first of all we have to understand what do you mean by the matter. So anything which has mass and occupies space is called matter, like the things we can see around ourselves like books, pen, everything is called matter. But we can't say that the feelings like hatred, emotions, they are not considered as matter, because these are feelings. They do not have mass and they do not occupy space. That's why we do not call them matter. So you will see that the classification of the matter, you can see that we will discuss about that matter is particulate in nature, which means that it is made up of the small particles. And if we talk about the size of that particles, you will see that the size is very small. So you can see that the pure substances are elements and compounds, and mixtures may be homogeneous or heterogeneous. So physical nature, if we talk about physical nature, you will see that matter is made up of particles, and particles are very small in size, and they also have space between them, and they are in continuously in motion, and they will attract each other. So you can see that if we talk about matter is made up of particles, you can see that in this activity as showing in this slide, you can see that we have taken water in a beaker and we have noted its level, but when we dissolve some sugar into it, you will see that the level of the water do not rises up. Sugar gets filled between the spaces. So in this way we can see that the matter is made up of particles which have spaces between them, and sugar will occupy that space between the water molecules. Okay, but we will see that the particles of the matter are very tiny. They are very small in size. You can see that in this activity this is the solution of the potassium permanganate, which is pink in color. If we take out only 10 ml out of this 100 ml and dissolve it in another in clear water, then you will see that its color is also change. Then after that you will see that if we take out 10 ml from this 100 ml beaker and dissolve it into remaining 90 ml in water, then you will see that the solution will be like this. So after that you will see that if we take out 10 ml from this and dissolve into another 90 ml of the clean water, then you will see that its color is also light pink. So you will see that from first to the last, you will see that the color is still there, but it is lighted. In the first it is dark pink, in the end you will see that it is light pink. So you will see that even the small crystals of the KMnO4 has colored even last entire solution. So we can say that the few crystals of the potassium permanganate can change the color of large volume of the water, because there are many small particles inside that crystal. So you will see that the particles of the matter have space between them. We have already discussed about this activity. So if we talk about particles of the matter are continuously moving, you will see that if I drop a drop of blue dye into a water, you will see that then whole water will be turned into the bluish in color. This will happen why? Because you will see that the particles of that blue color dye are free to move, and they are moving, and they have, you will see that they spread unevenly into the whole water. So you can see that, and this process of intermixing of two different types of the matter is called diffusion. So you will see that how we can say that the particles of the matter attract each other. You will see that if you take any chalk or a rubber band, you will see that iron nail. In case of the solids, you will see that the particles are tightly packed. They have strong forces of attraction between them. In case of the liquids, the force of attraction is less. In case of gases, force of attraction is very least. That's why particles are very moving very far apart from each other. So states of matter, there are generally three states of the matter: solid, liquid and gas. So you all of you are already familiar with the properties of the solids. You already know that they have fixed shape and they have fixed volume. So you will see that the spaces between the particles is very least, and force of attraction between the particles, here you can say that it is strong, and you will see that these are least compressible because they have strong forces of attraction and there are very less spaces between them, so we can't compress them. So you will see that. And diffusion you already know, it is the mixing of two states. Since the particles have very less spaces between them, so they will see that their diffusion is also placed. So if we talk about properties of liquids, you already know that liquids do not have definite shape, but they have fixed volume. They can take the shape of the container in which they are placed, and you will see that the forces of attraction between the particles is less as compared to the solids, and there are the more spaces between them as compared to solid, but as compared to gases the spaces between the particles is less, so they are less compressible. And you will see that the diffusion will be faster in liquids than the solids. So you will see that in the properties of the gases do not have fixed shape or fixed volume, so they can take the whole shape of the container. So you will see that the spaces between these particles is very less, so they are more compressible because they have many large spaces between them which can be compressed. So you will see that the rate of diffusion is very much faster in the gases. You will So here you can see that in solid, liquid or gas, these are about the particles. So another thing which we can do, you can see that we can change the state of the matter. Since there are three states and these three states can be interconvertible. So suppose when we heat a solid, you will see that it changes into liquid. It is also a change when solid on heating changes to liquid, and if we heat the liquid, you will see that it will change into the water vapors or gaseous form. So and when we you will see that when the reverse process will be happened, suppose we cool any gas, then it will condense to form liquid, and after if we cool down liquid or freeze them, it will changes into the solid. So these are the processes. Here you can already see in the picture. So this is all about the changes in the state of the matter. You can see that it melting is the process in which solid starts to change into the liquid, and there is process boiling means when which you will see that the liquid starts changing into the gaseous state or vapor state. That is your boiling. Here you can see that the boiling of water is done. It is can be done by changing the temperature, because two factors which play an important role in changing the state are your temperature and pressure. So melting, you can see that when the solid is heated, it changes into the liquid. That process is melting. It is also called fusion. So you will see that the temperature at which solid melts is called its liquid point, and melting point of the ice is 0 degrees Celsius, and in Kelvin scale it is 273 Kelvin. Then latent heat of fusion. So latent word means hidden. So you will see that latent heat of fusion, it is that heat energy which is required to change 1 kg of solid into the liquid at atmospheric pressure. You will see that when we heat any solid, you will see that it starts to change into liquid. Then you will see that at some stage we are increasing the temperature, but that temperature is not increasing the temperature of that solid. You will see that instead of increase in temperature is involved in changing the state, and that is your latent heat of fusion. So here you can see that. So boiling, you will see that when any liquid is heated, particles begin to move even faster at a higher temperature. You will see that this is a bulk phenomena, and you will see that the liquid boils, the bulk of liquid changes into the vapor, and the temperature boiling point of the normal water, you will see that it is 100 degrees Celsius in Celsius scale, and in Kelvin scale it is 373 Kelvin. So latent heat of vaporization, same as the latent heat of fusion, it will be like that. Amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of the liquid into the gas at atmospheric pressure at its boiling point is called latent heat of vaporization. It is same state. It is do not involve in changing the temperature or increasing the temperature, but it involves change in the state of the matter. That temperature provided will not increase the temperature of this liquid, but it will help in changing the state from liquid to the gaseous state. So, so effect of temperature, you will see that when we heat any cold liquid, it will change into the liquid. So this is your effect. So sublimation, it is the process in which you will see that whenever we heat any solid, instead of changing into the liquid state, it directly changes into the solid state or gaseous state. So that is your sublimation process. It means change of solid into gas without changing into the liquid. That process is sublimation. So examples which substances which show the sublimation are your camphor, ammonium chloride, naphthalene balls are also this example. So you can see that this is how this sublimation process will happen. We'll see that we have taken ammonium chloride solution. So you will say when we heat them, you will see that its vapor changes, and here you can see that. So effect of the pressure on the gas, you will see that when a pressure is applied, then particle starts coming closer, and you will see that that space between them is reduced. So when we compress any gas or apply pressure on a gas, you will see that particles will come closer and gas will change into the liquid. So we can liquefy a gas by applying pressure and reducing the temperature. So dry ice, this is also an important. Dry ice is your CO2. CO2 also, like sublimation process, direct dry ice is changed into the CO2 without changing into the liquid state. So interconversion of three states of matter, as we have discussed, solid, liquid or gas. You can see solid to liquid conversion, it may be fusion, and liquid to solid, that process is your solidification or freezing, we can call them. So here you may see that whenever we want to change from liquid to gas state, this process is your vaporization, and when we want to change gas into liquid, that process is your condensation. And